What's going on, guys? I am Frank Wak, and welcome to episode 3 of Wak Weekly. Look at that, a series that went longer than 2 episodes. We have a lot to talk about. We're just going to kind of jump into it. Subscribe, just saying. Today we're going to talk about Phoenix Comic Con and their new staffing situation. They're having a lot of issues with volunteers that get the free badge and then don't work. But to answer this, they have decided that they are going to, for lack of a better way of putting it, charge the people that are volunteering to work. Phoenix Comic Con has decided to do all of their staffing through the Blue Ribbion Army, which is a non-profit organization, or club I think they put it. It's a non-profit club that you can buy into with like a $20, I think it's a $20 due, and they have events they do every month, and one of these events is Phoenix Comic Con, and being a part of the Blue Ribbion Army allows you to be a volunteer for this con. The reason why they're doing this is partly to do because of all of the people that have volunteered in the past and just didn't work any of the days. They would come in, they'd take the free pass, and they wouldn't work for it. This allows them to be more organized in their staff so they know when people aren't doing what they're supposed to. The overall idea is that if these people have paid to become volunteers, will make the staff more caring and more readily available. It'll make the con flow smoother than, with, normal volunteers. So immediately when I first read about this, I'm like, isn't that illegal? Like, that just sounds illegal to be charging people to work for you. Like, that's the exact opposite of how work should work, right? Since everything is going through the Blue Ribbion Army, which is a non-profit organization, there's nothing illegal going on there. If it were the other way around, the for-profit Comic Con was the one doing this, then it would be completely illegal because they're making more money. To put it plainly, I'm not for it. I don't like the idea of charging the people that want to work for you. I understand that you are a really big con now with 100,000 plus people, and it's hard to keep track of every single volunteer, considering you have over 1,000 of them. If it were me, if I were that volunteer, and you were to ask me to pay $20 to get into this club that I don't care about, I just want to get into the con, I'm not doing that. I would like to volunteer for the con. I'm more worried about the people outside of Phoenix that don't have a way into the con without volunteering for their time, more for the people of Phoenix that can pay this $20 and get into events like every month. That's what the paid service is for. But for people like me who live like 3 states away from Arizona, if I were to ever come to this con and I were to need to get in for free, I'm not paying $20 to get in to be a part of your club that I'm never going to go back to because I live 3 states away. I just think it's a little short-sighted. I understand your base is in Phoenix and that's what you're focusing on. I get that. The bigger picture outside of that is all the people that want to come in that no longer can. Thinking about the young con-goers that especially are the ones that volunteer the most because they can't pay the $50 to get into the con and then like $10 to $20 a day on food because, you're not eating ramen in your hotel room. You're going to go out to McDonald's at the least, and then you got to pay like $150 for hotel even, and then all the travel, and it's a lot of money. Even pooled, it's a lot of money. The younger con-goers, the people that are just coming into cons, often volunteer to get in because that's the only way they can. And that's great. That's what the volunteer thing should be there for. It helps them understand how the con runs, it helps them respect the con more, and it helps them understand that the staff actually does things, and that the staff should be respected even if they're not a part of it. Forcing that $20 fee takes away all of that. And my biggest concern with this kind of idea is your staff. You need a lot of people because you're a huge con. If you only have like 1,000 people in your staff, which is a big number, but in comparison to 100,000, that's 100 paid customers per one person. All I'm getting at is you need more staff, and if you're trying to make them pay for it, you're gonna have less than you need. Like, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth, so I believe it will leave a bad taste in others. Especially those outside of, Phoenix and the Arizona area that can, like I said, come to all the Blue Ribbion Army meetings and whatever it is they do, because I don't know. I didn't search that far. But I don't run cons, so I could be completely wrong. So, just to give some final thoughts, I wanted to make this video to you guys to let you see how bigger cons are dealing with situations that we don't have here in, the central Oklahoma and surrounding areas. Maybe A-Con. I've never been to A-Con. And I want to be able to open that discussion before we get there. TNT is reaching about 10,000 now, which is only like a tenth of Phoenix Comic Con, but that number is going to rapidly increase. The bigger it gets, the more people will show up. And I want us to be ready for that kind of situation. I want us to understand what's going on and be aware of how cons around us are dealing with it. If you are con staff, con chairs, I would love to encourage you to not do this, like, ever, if it's possible. I understand it may get to a point where that's the only option. And I believe that's where Phoenix Comic Con is. Like, I believe they just chose that there was no other choice. And that could very well be the case with the amount of people that just walked into the door for free. And them not having a real way of controlling that. Like, I get that. But if it's at all possible, I would love for cons to stay, you know, open to volunteers. So, like I said earlier, volunteers can come in, they can learn how the con is run, they can learn to respect all the things that happen, they can learn to respect all the staff that spends, you know, like a whole year, like from the moment the con ends, maybe a month after that, until the next con, they are working non-stop. It's a passionate point for me because I've been that young con-goer that couldn't get into cons without working for them. You know, I've done it with Tokyo and Tulsa, I've done it with GlitchCon. To all future convention volunteers, young, old, in the middle, wherever, just make sure that you don't be that. Make sure you're not the person that's skipping out on their duties and just trying to collect a free pass. So what do you guys think? Like, this is part of the reason I want to do, like, pieces like this on Wak Weekly is I really want to get your opinion. I really want to start a discussion. Do you guys think that it's okay? Do you think you would be willing to pay $20 a year to get into a big con like Phoenix Comic Con? Do you think you would pay that $20 to volunteer your time and effort? Like, I really want to know what you guys think about this. If you have an idea of something you would like me to talk about on the show, you can comment that below. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, @TheDudeFrankWak. All that's in the description below. You can find it in my channel links up top. But in the meantime, I am Frank Wak, and here are some new videos.